Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Decode Yourself. In today's video, I'd like to discuss about breathing. Again, in my book Decode Yourself, I do have a chapter just dedicated to breathing. It's called Just Breathe, where I discuss all the different breathing patterns and a couple techniques, which is what I would like to go over with you in the video today. So what is breathing? Just like water and food, air is an important ingredient for our physical bodies. So we get air in through proper inhalation and exhalation. And breathing is an activity that happens very less consciously than the way we intake water or food. We at least know that we reach out for water and we reach out for food, but when we talk about breathing, it just is an automatic action. We most of the times do not know or do not think about it. And a lot of times, if you do stop yourselves when you're either in some sort of haste or anger or frustrated, you could actually catch yourself not breathing out as much. You just need to exhale, which will really calm down the energy in your body and bring a more balancing pattern. Now with breathing, because it happens so automatically, we don't really think or explore much about it, but essentially breathing can define a person's fundamental persona. In fact, it's known that the entire world's population can be divided into two categories depending on which is their dominant nostril that they actively use for most part of their time or lifetime or day. Physiologically, we have a nasal cycle, which is how our inhalation and our exhalation switches between the right and left nostril at a certain frequency. In fact, if you check that you're breathing to check, you just place a finger under your breathing nostril and you will find that you are exhaling from one nostril. Let's say you're exhaling from your left nostril, then about 30 to 45 minutes later, if you place your finger against under your nose, you will find that now it has switched to you exhaling from your right nostril, which means your active dominant nostril that's breathing in is your left nostril. Now, why does this matter? We all know we have our physical bodies. We also have our energy bodies, which in yogic culture is called nadis, which are essentially energy channels. These are called energy meridians, essentially energy pathways. This is what is used in the Chinese energy medicine principles, and essentially acupressure, acupuncture uses the same concepts. So we have energy channels or nadis that run around our physical bodies, and the breathing function and the breath of air that we inhale actually goes in and kind of activates these energy channels, which in turn activates all the healthy nutrients and our body functions, organ functions, which stabilizes and creates a more healthy or vital body function. Now you will in yogic scripture, there's actually Ida and Pingala, which is right and left energy channels, which kind of circulate on either side of sushumna, which is the energy channel that surrounds the spinal cord. So when we go back to talking about how does a fundamental persona defines or gets defined based on active or dominant nostril. If your left nostril is the most dominant nostril, then it is said that your energy is more associated with the moon energy, meaning people who are more left nostril dominant tend to connect more with the right hemisphere of the brain and tend to be more creative. Also, the moon energy affects your sacral chakra, which is essentially your energy pool. That is your sexual energy pool, and then also regulates your emotional balance. That's where your emotional balance sits, and regulates the water content in your body. So anyone who is left nostril dominant also tend to be very sexual, sensual, creative, more emotional by nature, which also then means all the health ailments that they could see is depressions, low blood pressure, lower back discomfort, or water retention in their bodies. And the right nostril is said to be more associated with the sun energy. So people who are more right nostril dominant connect with the left hemisphere of the brain more, and they tend to be more action oriented. And it is also said that these are folks who are more into leadership, very action oriented, go-getters, strong-willed, fighters, and they're always chasing after success in forms of money, power, authority, which means these are prone to a very heated liver in their physical bodies, which causes a high or elevated body temperature for these folks, which then, as a consequence, then you start to see these folks who are right nostril dominant, the health ailments that they could deal with will be probably more around, imbalanced digestion, acid reflux, obviously heated liver, which means hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes, frequent tension headaches, and migraines. The sun energy is tend to be associated with the solar plexus, which is right around your navel area. So, this is just a fundamental sort of categorization of right nostril dominant versus left nostril dominant. And based on what we know, it just means that the more regulated breathing we do, meaning there is enough, there's an equal number of times you're using your right nostril as well as your left nostril, means you have a more balanced, healthy energy flow into your body through your inhalation and balanced exhalation, which means it would also regulate your body and your any kind of health conditions that you may have. So just by simply alternating the breathing in your nostrils could actually elevate a more healthy and vital levels of your physical body. How do you do this? Maybe just, take 5 minutes in the morning or in the evening and just kind of do some alternate nostril breathing. And that should definitely help with, you will start seeing differences in your health. It would actually regulating the breathing will also regulate sleep patterns. It would reduce any sort of migraines. It will increase energy levels in your body. So there is trying this for 2 to 3 weeks, you would really definitely start seeing some improvement or increased energy levels in your body. And also when you feel very tensed, then it's easy to do a 2 to 3 minute alternate nostril breathing, which will help you calm down and then bring you also better outcomes. So what are the different types of alternate nostril breathing? So the predominant one is where you can basically take your hands, fold your index and your middle finger in, just use your thumb and your ring finger and your pinky. So you would close one nostril and breathe through the other. And then the nostril that you used to breathe in, now you would close that and exhale through the one that you initially had closed. So let's start with maybe breathing in from the left. So then it would be left in and then right out, and then right in and left out. So this is how you do it. So you essentially inhale in one nostril, so left in, right out, and then right in and left out. The other variations of this is you could do left in and left out. So you're essentially just breathing from one nostril and exhaling, breathing in through one nostril and exhaling in the same nostril, out of the same nostril. And then you alternate, and then you do right in and right out. So left in, left out, right in, right out, left in, left out, right in, right out. So that's another variation. The third variation of this, which is very helpful if you have like a sinus pressure, if you feel intense sinus pressure, or if you have a headache, this is definitely very helpful, which is you just do 10 times in one nostril. So you kind of go like, so you do that 10 times on one nostril, and then when you're ready, then you can just do it on the other one. So this is one type of alternate breathing. Now there is 3 other types of breathing techniques. I would like to talk about them to you this week. So I do have another video that I will release later this week where I will show you the other breathing techniques. But you can definitely start practicing with the alternate nostril breathing.